Yeah.
So, good morning to everybody and thank you for inviting me here. Women empowerment. What do we mean by empowerment? I mean, does empowerment mean taking control over something, or does it mean that taking control over someone? According to me, empowerment means that accepting challenges, facing them, and once we face those challenges, we own our own self and control our own mind. And that is when empowerment begins. And once we start working on that empowerment journey, we automatically start moving in the direction of being a leader. So today I will narrate you 6 instances of my life wherein I overcame the challenges and feel that I have empowered myself. The first instance which I would like to narrate is from being ashamed to becoming a shining star. I come from a very conservative Marwadi society, where girls are not educated, especially 30-35 years back. The only agenda, when anybody used to have a daughter was, how soon can you get her married, give as much as dowry possible and, just get her married. That was the only objective in life. And when I was born to my parents, people started pitying my parents. Oh no, you have a daughter and that too with a polio. What are you going to do in life? How are you going to manage her? So the only advice they used to give my parents is to start accumulating as much wealth as possible so that at least that wealth can help me getting married off. And as I grew up and I used to hear these comments and stories and people used to come and pity me. And I was like, why? Why should somebody pity my parents? It's okay if I have a polio. There's nothing wrong in that, right? So I decided that, I have to do something in life, that this pity, this shame should get converted into respect and dignity for me, as well as my parents. More than me, I wanted to do it for my parents because of me, why should they be feel pitied or ashamed? So I decided to focus on my studying, did my CA, did my MBA, CS, MCOM, worked in the likes of Polaris Software, Hinduja Group Limited, then joined 2 family managed group businesses and was responsible for turning around both the companies. Today, probably I'm the first girl from my village, my district or even in Rajasthan who's leading a 200 crore company. So those same people, those same relatives, today they come and appreciate me and I feel so proud that I have done something for my parents in my life. So I always tell people, rejection is the only motivation in life. So the more you get rejected, the more motivated you should feel. Second instance which I would like to share about me is from humility to honor. People who know me closely, they know how much I love ice creams. I can eat ice creams even in my sleep. And that too, not only 1 but 2. And God has made things like that. The most thing which you love, you cannot have it easily. You have to struggle, you have to work hard for it. And the same was with me. So, in order to continue my love affair with ice creams, I had to exercise. And the best form of exercise which I could zero down upon was swimming. Yes, swimming. Many of you must be thinking, disabled and swimming, a rare combination, right? And that is what I also faced in life. So the moment I decided that I need to learn swimming, I approached private coaches and they said, because you don't know swimming, we can't teach you swimming in private swimming pools. So you better go to a club. When I went to a club, they said, because you don't know swimming, we can't allow you to enter the swimming pool. And for 2 months, I was going to meet various coaches, various clubs. Everywhere, the answer remained the same. The form changed, but the answer was a no. And it had become like a chicken and egg situation for me. And I was like, what the hell is this? So one fine day, I just decided that, no matter what, today I have to, get an approval to learn swimming. So I went to a club and met the secretary and told him that unless and until you allow me to learn swimming in your club, I am not moving from here. I waited for almost 3 to 4 hours and he did not call me inside. And he thought maybe eventually I'll give up and I'll go. But that day I had decided. So after 5 hours, he called me inside. And he was like, you want to learn swimming? I said, yeah, sir, that's the best form of exercise for me. So he was like, okay, I have one batch which is going on currently. which is the 1:30 to 2:30 batch in the afternoon. If you want to learn swimming, you can join that batch. So I was like, okay. He had thought that, it was peak summer, May month, 1:30 to 2:30 batch. I automatically would say no, but he didn't know me. So I said, okay sir, fine, I'll come 1:30 to 2:30 batch. So he called the concerned people and said, okay, the batch is starting from Tuesday and she'll come. So Tuesday when I land up at the swimming pool at around 1:20, 1:25, I see around 37 odd ladies, girls ready to learn swimming. And somebody came and asked me, what are you doing here? I said, even I've come here to learn swimming. And like, swimming? I said, yes. Okay, you'll do swimming with your crutches? I said, no, I'll obviously remove them. Today, how will you walk? I said, I'll show you how am I walking. And the moment she went to those group, people started murmuring, giving me stares, giving me looks, and they were wondering, she'll also not learn swimming and she'll waste our time also. So, but as I was determined, I was like nothing doing. So 37 people on one side of the pool, I on another side of the pool. They were all standing. I was sitting on the edge of the pool because it was wet. I can't take the risk of standing. And my teacher came. So she was like, you want to learn swimming? I said, yes ma'am, I want to learn swimming. Are you sure? I said, yeah. And she just pushed me. She thought, I struggle, and I said, no, I let myself down. And she was like, boss, I need to teach her. So within 7 days, I learned swimming with a float. And within 14 days, I was swimming in the swimming pool like a duck. While those 37 ladies were still struggling to even get into the pool on time. So that's the reason I always tell people that never hear what people tell you. Just keep on believing in yourself. The third instance which I would like to narrate to you guys is about being insulted to creating an identity about your own self. When I was doing CA, I got a rank in my CA foundation and I was very happy, top of the moon. The reason people used to tell me that if you pass in first attempt, and that too if you have a rank, you get articleship very easily wherever you want. In fact, people will call you. So I had a distinction in HSC, a distinction in FIBCom, a rank holder in CA foundation. So I applied to a couple of places and I was relaxed. Kahin na kahin to mil jayega articleship, why bother? And to my utter surprise, I did not get a call. So I applied to more places, thinking my application might have a mistake, my interview did not go well. I kept on applying, but I couldn't get an articleship for myself. I was so dejected. Then finally I had to use my father's reference to get an articleship for me. And trust me, that was the worst day in my life. On one side I was trying to prove myself, create an identity for myself. And on the other side, for a simple thing like articleship, I had to use my father's relationship. And that day I had decided, boss, I need to prove to these people that you all made a mistake and not me. So fast forward, I worked in my career, put all the efforts, and this January I was awarded the CA Special Recognition Award by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And that is my answer to all those who judge me by my physical capabilities and not my qualification or not my talent. So I always tell people, never stop believing in yourself. Once you decide that you want to do it, I'm sure you will do it. Got my award, I decided that we will like to help 100 CA students who are disabled who want to aspire to do CA. The simple reason was that what I went through my CA journey, I did not want those kids to go through the same thing. It's a big ordeal. Unless until you have a big supporting family, friends, trust me, it's not easy to do that. So hence we started the scholarship in the name of my father, Mr. Mehta. And apart from financial assistance, we also aim to provide mentoring and guidance on how to get articleship, what is it that you need to do. So if anybody of you all are aware about anybody who needs any help, any guidance, please get in touch with us so that we can help them. Moving to the next story of my life, from lag to leaping ahead. Qualified, finished all my education, working with Polaris, got Best Employee Award twice over there, moved to Hinduja Group, working in there, Mr. Dheeraj Hinduja's core finance team. Life was brilliant. I was in a very happy space, and then comes Mr. Jain in my life, And he's like, I want to marry you. And I'm like, has he gone bonkers? I mean, I've seen 25 years of my life and how, society treats people who are disabled. And why a CA, MBA wants to marry a disabled girl? I mean, I couldn't understand why he wanted to do that madness. But finally, he managed to convince me. And as expected, the moment we decided to get married, all hell broke loose on both of us. His family used to think that, he'll have a dependent in his life to take care for his entire life. His wife is finished. My extended शादी में म्यूजिक बज रहा था. So, and my extended family used to wonder, why a able-bodied person would want to marry a girl who's disabled. They used to ask my father, how much of crores of rupees have you spent to buy a son-in-law for yourself? And trust me, all those comments, all those rejections, I mean, they made me doubt myself again that, did I do a wrong thing in my life? All these years, whatever efforts I had put in to create an identity for myself was all being washed apart. I mean, I couldn't share that with him because he has his own set of challenges. I couldn't talk to anybody. I don't know what to do. And slowly, again I started feeling a big zero. A zero which had probably no end. But one fine day when I was looking into the mirror and I reflected that, is this the Shilpa which I know? Probably the answer was no. I mean, till then nothing what people said ever mattered to me. So now, why is this mattering to me right now? And what am I going to tell my kids, that their mother is a loser? And the answer was a big no. So slowly I started gathering myself. I started rebuilding my career, my life. And today, I am living a life where I have set standards for myself internally rather than being measured by standards set externally. Today I live a life which is in a very happy space. I'm successful in my career. My kids is proud about me. So now I always tell people that people will keep on giving you lemons. You should know how to make lemonade out of it. And if you ask me personally, I would serve those lemonade to the people who give me lemons. The second last instance which I would like to share is about being passive to moving to being passionate. I mean, as a child, couldn't walk, couldn't run, could never participate in school, outdoor activities, had no friends because I couldn't run around with them during recess time or go to playgrounds, play with them, walk with them. And even if I wanted to have an attempt doing that, the teachers wouldn't allow me to do that. And whatever limited outdoor exposure I had was because of my siblings used to, still play with me in the outdoors. But, I always used to dream of, running around, playing in the background, playing, with other kids. And today when my son doesn't do that, I tell him, boss, you don't know what you are missing. Ask people who have not been able to do that. How great, you should be thankful to God that you've been able to do that. So, I mean, when my son was born, consciously we used to take him to outdoors. I mean, by the time he was 1, we had done 6 camping trips, kayaking trips, and every other weekend we were out in nature. So, by the time he was 4 or 5 years, our friends used to come and tell us, why don't you also tell us where you are going, we'll also join it. And that is how our kids club was born, which is actually named after my son, Mehta Kids Club, wherein we expose the kids to nature, adventure and volunteering. The primary reason is that today, the life is so hectic, and especially even kids in the city do not have exposure to any kind of nature. I mean, only exposure, they learn how to grow a tree on a computer screen. They will actually never know how to water a plant or how to sow a seed or something like that. So our whole objective is, to take those city kids away from, this tech world, this concrete world, and make them realize what nature is and how it feels when you're in outdoor. So today we have 100+ families as members of Mehta Kids Club. Here we don't charge even a single rupee. Whatever activities we do it at our cost. But trust me, when kids come back after those activities or when parents praise me, I feel, whatever I had lost in my childhood, I'm able to recover that. I'm living that life that I had missed in my childhood. So, I always tell people, dream, keep dreaming and never stop dreaming. If you keep on dreaming, one day I'm sure your dreams will be fulfilled. The last part which I would like to share with you all is about being aggressive to assertive. During my growing up years, I had faced a lot of, rejection. I was ignored by my family, my friends, my teachers. They used to think that they are helping me. But actually, I was feeling so angry. I was like, why all this is happening with me? What is my fault? Why me? So, I was getting very angry. So when I started going to college, the challenges of stepping out in the world, the struggles of managing the world where everything is probably made for people who are able-bodied. Nobody ever imagines, like if a disabled comes, what all things he or she will need in life. So all this had been so much of frustration in me, so much of anger in me, that I used to get angry at the drop of a head. I used to, start shouting, yelling if I used to sense even a small injustice or wrong happening. I just couldn't control myself. The fear, the rejection, the sympathy, the pity, all this had got so much of frustration and anger in me that I become a very aggressive man. But then, a savior came in my life, my husband, my punching bag, Mr. Jain. He used to accept me the way I was. He never judged me. He allowed me to do whatever I wanted, whether I was getting angry with somebody for no rhyme and reason or crying at a silly things. Over the period of time, he started understanding me. And once I started feeling comfortable with him, I also started opening with him. I started sharing with him what I feel and more importantly, why I was feeling what I was feeling. So, for the first time in my life, I had somebody who was not judging me, who was allowing me to be myself. And over the period of time, because of his support, because of my personal growth, my professional growth, I have been able to accept my limitation with ease. I forgive people who comment on me, or I accept the comments on me with a laughter. It just doesn't matter to me now anybody says anything to me. I know what I am. And I don't need anybody's approval for that. I have my confidence, my views, my expressions. So I'm a lot more assertive with my action compared to when I was very aggressive with my reaction. So I always tell people, so go on, and do the best in the one life which you have got. We should never ever wait for people to judge us, comment us. It should not bother you. And that is Shilpa for you, ladies and gentlemen. S from being shamed to shining, H from being humiliated to becoming an honor, I for being insulting to creating an identity, L from being lagging behind to creating a leading identity, P from being passive to being passionate, A from being aggressive to assertive. I always feel that negative are tests which are made to prepare us for positive, and you need to overcome that. Unless you overcome that, you will get crushed. And once you overcome that, you will be empowering your own self. And that is when your leadership journey will start. I always say, मन के हारे हार गए, मन के जीते जीत गए. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to ask